I don't know if you can see it, but every once in a while in this window back here, a dog pops its head out, trying to understand desperately why they're not outside with me. I say you snooze, you lose. Well, it's the 10th of July, filming this on a Saturday because even though I want to upload on Sundays, I think it's gonna rain tomorrow. So you gotta get while the getting's good. So here in Michigan, it has been pretty exciting. We had some pretty bad storms roll through this week. So we had a power outage Thursday night through Friday. And let's see, now it's a lot drier and we've got power back and I'm super grateful. But you might be able to hear heavy trucks in the background. My street is lined with utility trucks fixing power for everybody. So it's a worthy job, but the sound quality might not be quite where it's supposed to be. That's okay. So the garden is looking great. The July garden tour was already filmed, and so you got to see everything kind of holistically. What I wanted to talk about today is one of my favorite plants, and that is the Coleus. I didn't know about Coleuses growing up. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really know much about gardening except what my parents did and let me water. That was about it. But Coleus, I think it was one of those plants I never knew about until I started gardening, and now I plan to grow them probably every single year. So let's talk a little bit about why. See, this, my friends, is why I will grow Coleus every single year. Coleus is a very broad category of foliage forward plants, I would say. I believe the reason most people would be growing them would be for the reason I am growing them, which is all the beautiful colors. Coleus is definitely an annual here in Michigan, where I live in zone 6B. The very first frost that hits these babies, they're going to liquefy. But until then, as soon as you're free from frost, you are basically building into one spectacular show of foliage that I would argue would go with any of your plantings, though if the red and blue salvia put together is any indication, I am not afraid of combining a lot of bright colors together. Now, all that color is really nice, and you can certainly buy them in greenhouses and just fill up your backyard as much as you want with Coleus, but that racks up a pretty penny. And that's the second reason I like Coleus. Not that they are expensive when you buy them in the greenhouse, but because they're incredibly easy to start from seed. And all the Coleus that I have in my garden as of right now, I started from seed. Some I bought from Burpees, I think, specifically my chocolate cherry variety, which I will show you in just a little bit. My word of caution is that if you want to guarantee the color of Coleus that you grow from seed, you should buy it from a seed company. If you just want a heaping ton of cheap Coleus seed of a variety of colors, then you can actually collect seed heads in the fall like I do, and then start them from seed in the spring. Let's go look at some of my favorites. All right, here we're going to start off with two of the chocolate cherry varieties that I started from seed. That's why they're a little behind, because I realized that none of my seeds were going to come back true that I collected from my chocolate cherry last year. So I had to buy some seeds, get them started, and now they're behind. But I think you can tell why you'd want to guarantee this color variation. It's got this deep, deep pink in the center, a more maroon color, and then these bright chartreuse edges that just really pop. Although I'm trying to be cautious to protect them from the creeping Jenny that reseeded itself this year in this pot, so that they have room to get big, big, big. Now, these babies I grew from seed, including this one, which might actually be chocolate cherry from last year. But really, there was no guarantee that the seeds you harvest from a plant this fall will be the same thing next year because they will have cross-pollinated with other Coleus. But here you can see some of the flower stalks. In the fall, I will let these actually grow all the way up, let the seeds dry out, and then put the seeds in envelopes until next year. But since we're really early on in the season and I don't want the plant to focus on blossoms, I am going to pick them off now, because mainly they don't look that great to me, but there will be plenty more. Now, the other fun thing about growing your own Coleus is that you no longer have any idea what the actual name of your plant is. This one, this blood splatter, is one of my favorites. Here, just a really dramatic color combo. One of my dad's favorites, on the other hand, is the kind of this blood splatter with a cream splash as well. You can come up with your names for that. That's sure what I do. They're your plants now. You can treat them and name them whatever you like. Let's see, who else do we have over here that's real pretty? This one again looks like it might actually be chocolate cherry. These all started off as seedlings. Again, they were smaller than these little guys. And now look at them. They're nice and tall. You can get a whole nice variety of dark colors with subtle lacy edges, splatters of different varieties, some more classic white, like almost a paisley pattern. Really, you never know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be pretty. And these, I'd say Coleus are super container friendly, and that's another thing that's really nice, is that even though every single year I plant far too many Coleus seedlings, I just cram them into whatever pot they'll fit in. I just had an extra pot here, and they'll just be pretty happy as long as you keep them relatively well watered. And that's not too hard in our particular ecosystem. The other thing I really like about Coleus for our yard is that it does well in part to full shade. So here is a really shady spot. It's got trees covering it pretty much most of the day. It gets a little bit of morning sun, but that's about it. And you can just see the colors are still vivid. The plant is still huge. Like this, look at this guy. Look at that. I feel like I say that every time I tour the garden with my parents. I show off my Coleus and they show off theirs, but it's dramatic anyway. So if you have a shady corner of the garden, Coleus will do well. If you have an area, it's pan real slow. If you have an area that's partial sun, Coleus will do real well. If it gets too hot, too much sun could be a little intense. But dappled sun, so part sun to part shade, I think is where I feel like Coleus does its best for me. But it's a plant that I'm gonna grow every year because it's super cheap, because you can start it from seed easily and get a ton of plants. As long as you don't mind, no guarantee what color you get. But even buying seeds from the catalogs are pretty darn cheap too. So this is a real economical way to add a lot of color to your summer garden. Okay, so that is the story on Coleus. One of my absolute favorite plants that I plan to grow for many seasons to come. I don't want to say forever because a gardener can always change their minds. But yeah, it's one of my top favorite plants for the color that it gives, the ease of growing it from seed, and the fact that it's really easy to collect seeds in the fall and grow some new surprises in the spring the next year. So that's what I have to say about Coleus for today. That's what I wanted to share. If you liked this video today, please like and subscribe. It really helps me build up momentum on this wonderful adventure and experiment that is my own YouTube channel. So please like and subscribe. And also in the comments, let me know what your favorite plant is that you would grow year after year if you could grow nothing else. Oh God, hopefully it never comes to that. But if it did, that's one valuable plant and I want to know about it. Anyway, hope you're all having, oh, there goes a monarch butterfly. I'll never capture it on video. I'm gonna try. Hope you're all having a great summer. Stay dry, stay safe, and I'll talk to you again soon in the garden. Bye.